He's got her first outtake there as well.
Straight up.
Her first blue. Right,
So,
JP.
Yes,
Welcome.
Jal. Thank
Back.
you. Yes. Home sweet home.
Episode 2.
Episode 2 of plenty, hopefully.
Yeah. I think we're going to do a 6-part series on this. So,
Yes.
obviously, welcome back to anyone that's viewed. This is Darwin Lifelink. So, Darwin Recruitment's take on the life science industry, tips, advice. Keep it topical. We're going to do some blog articles and stuff like that. Episode 1, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. We introduce ourselves, our takes on the markets that we're working, and you get to hopefully know a little bit more about us in that one. But before we obviously get into the heavy stuff, how's the week been?
It's been good. Well, I was lucky enough to be in Tenerife last weekend, so...
Didn't mention it much.
I know, Jal, you felt a bit left out. But you've got holidays soon, surely.
I've got some holidays coming up, yeah.
There we go.
So,
but no,
good trip. You're back fighting fit now.
Back, refreshed. The voice is getting there.
Yeah.
It really is. Hopefully, I'm sounding good for you guys.
And normally we'd film this midweek, but today we're filming it on a Friday.
Yes.
Ryder Cup weekend.
There's a lot of energy in the office today.
So we're obviously keeping one eye on that.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, we've been dragged away from it to be recording this today.
Absolutely, for your benefit.
Yeah. So no, good week so far. So this week, I wanted to we want to give something back to the viewers and stuff like that. And the first topic I actually want to talk about, and this is probably going to be a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 2, this one here will be on one topic, and then we'll flip it, and obviously episode 3 will be on the other side of this. But today's episode, what I want to talk about is how can clients and companies best attract talent, look at retaining talent, run good recruitment processes, because we're always asked that, you know, and basically the question that we'll answer at the end is what value can we add?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think before we can add any value, there's sort of 2 or 3 things that companies need to consider before that.
Sure.
And the first thing I actually want to bring up about companies is they need to know what they're hiring for.
It sounds so
simple. The profile
simple,
that they're hiring for, right? And yeah, it sounds simple because every company will say we are hiring for a regulatory affairs manager, a clinical trial specialist within this area, and they'll give us a spec. And then we find that, and they go, no, they're not right.
Yeah.
Well, hang on a minute, that's what you've told us. And funnily enough, sometimes it's when us as recruiters go a little bit off-piste.
Yeah, I think
we actually find that person they want.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's on us, right? Because communication, it's for both sides. And actually, I think what we need to do and what we need to work with clients to do is understand, you know, what the must-haves are.
Yeah.
And where there can be some flexibility. Because I think it's pretty clear that any business, you know, has kind of certain things that are non-negotiables for a particular position. If it, certainly it's a value-added position, you need somebody in who can hit the ground running straight away. But I think maybe where some recruiters don't service their clients well enough, it is going a little bit deeper. I think it's very easy to get a job description in from a company. Yeah. And effectively think that this is exactly what we need to find, and there's no leeway either side. Whereas if you can really drill down with a hiring manager as to where the skill gaps are in the team, maybe where those areas of learning and development might be, where they can actually take somebody maybe a little less experienced. Yeah,
but then also from that, what you're doing as a hiring manager is painting the picture for us as a recruiter of the profile that you want.
Sure.
And then from time to time, don't get me wrong, we may find a profile that doesn't exactly match that, but we've spoken to them, we know they can add value.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but it's definitely knowing from that hiring manager or the HR manager, whoever it is, what is the profile that you're hiring for?
Yeah.
Not just, I need a regulatory affairs manager that has worked on this or come from this industry. No, it goes much deeper than that. And that's when we find most success.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think as well, alongside the skills, a big part of a hire in any business is finding the right cultural fit.
Yeah.
So
I think that actually comes on to number 2, right? Point number 2
absolutely
is tell the recruiter or understand from yourself what culture you have as a business.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, from a personal perspective, some of the best relationships I have with the customers that I work with, the companies that I work with, is understanding the cultural side. And maybe, I think that one of the greatest phrases I've ever heard from a HR manager to me directly was, James, we hire more for will than we do for skill.
Yeah.
And whilst that might be hard to quantify and hard to put in writing, our job as a recruiter is to understand more than just the nuts and bolts. Is to understand how it all comes together, the person behind the profile.
Yeah.
Is this somebody who's going to be motivated long term?
I've got it at the moment. Company have said to me, we've interviewed very, very knowledgeable and skillful people, but they don't have the personality for this role.
It's so
actually, we're going to take someone who's maybe a little bit less skilled than some of these people.
Yeah. But
has a better personality.
Yeah.
That comes into the culture fit. Yeah, so definitely that hiring for skill, hiring for will over skill, hiring for personality over skill does come into it.
And I think it's
but only when they understand the culture.
Absolutely, and we need to understand that, because I think it's often overlooked actually that our job really is to attract somebody to more than just the opportunity that's there on offer. It's the vision. It's where is the company going? Where particularly can this candidate go within the business? Because we're all job seekers at some point in our life.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we're never looking short term, are we? Anyone with a plan on a career is looking at, this is a business that hopefully I'm going to stay with for the next 3, 4, 5, hopefully longer.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think for us, it's important to understand exactly what your plans are so that we can differentiate you.
Career goals, basically.
100%.
And that's, again, another part, that career plan. So number 3, where does this person go?
Yeah.
What is a career plan for this person? And let's talk about it from personal experience here at Darwin. We hire someone as a recruitment consultant.
Yes.
We set them clear parameters as how do you get from recruitment consultant to exec, to senior, to lead, to principal. Then at what point in that transition and in that promotion can you then go into management if that's your career?
If that's your goal, yeah.
And it's all there.
Yeah.
So actually then when we here at Darwin attract people, right, they know exactly what they're getting into and exactly how they can make a success of their career here.
Absolutely.
The companies and clients we work with need to understand that as well.
Yeah.
So definitely, number 3 alongside the other 2 points there is know the career path of this person.
Exactly.
Number 4, which I think is very crucial, know the budget for the role.
For sure.
And allow us to have some input if there needs to be flexibility.
Yeah.
And how we're doing it, right? Because we've had it so many times where a client have said, I can pay 70,000 Danish kroner or 125,000 Swiss francs, right?
Yeah.
And then we've gone, that's a good budget, and then we maybe found someone at 75 or 80 or 130, 135, 140. We've submitted them and they've interviewed them and then they've gone, no, they need 70. Well, we've told you from day one that's what that person needs.
We've made it very clear. Yeah,
so actually, look, take them on that
and
understand your budget as well.
Sure.
So can you stretch it? What can you stretch it to?
Yeah.
We're not going to try and put every candidate at the top of that budget because we sense check how much that candidate earns at the moment, roughly what they want to earn, where they're roughly going to be.
Yeah.
So actually, by us having that sense check, that candidate isn't going to be wanting 20, 30, 40, 50k pay increase, right?
No,
They're just not going to want it.
No, absolutely. And we're there to provide options.
That's what we are, right?
Yeah.
But it's when companies don't understand the budget or don't give you a budget.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden we're submitting people that are, 2, 3, 4 candidates in a 5 or 10k back bracket.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's too much. We need to be down here.
Absolutely. And, to play devil's advocate, I suppose, we forget that it's a very competitive environment, certainly in the world of recruitment. And I dare say, 8 out of 10 HR managers, hiring managers might have had experiences with recruiters where maybe there's a sense that, we're not listening to their requirements, we're focusing on our needs as recruiters. But a good recruiter, which we all like to think we are, we're led by the people that we work with, so the companies. But candidates.
Also, actually, there is a very good video, I'm sure Maddie can link it, where myself and Laura from our Swiss tech team actually talk about salaries on job adverts, job specifications. Which
difficult.
It's that's a minefield. That is definitely a Marmite. Some people love it, some people hate it. So we won't get into that debate.
Sure.
But maybe we'll one week.
Yeah.
But we'll link it somewhere. You can probably go and watch that. And obviously we can go from there. But no, knowing budget is crucial.
Absolutely.
So we've got some sort of good tips. Anything else from your side?
Well, I think for me as a recruiter, I think I like to get real insight, and one of the things that I find really helps me attract good candidates and have success with the candidates that I'm working with is getting line manager interaction.
So you're talking here actually from if a company using you as a recruiter, a tip for them to be successful to hire someone.
Let me speak to the manager.
Let you speak to the hiring manager.
Yeah, I think it's in many ways like a game of Chinese whispers. If you were to speak to HR about a job that a manager needs filling, that conversation about what they need has gone through multiple different parties before it's got to me, and in many ways, shapes and forms, that messaging can change. And actually what I find is that if I'm able to speak to the manager directly and really understand the struggles that he or she is having, the real skill gaps in his or her team, it allows me to not only be more specific with what I'm finding, but actually, I don't want to use the word sell, but in many ways that's what our job is to sell that opportunity to the market. It allows me to sell it with a lot more vigour, a lot more enthusiasm, because I can honestly say to these candidates, look, I've spoken with Sandra, the manager for this role, I've spoken with John, this is exactly what he's telling me.
Well look, you say that, selling, okay, Alan Clark, our trainer here, right? He's always in our boardroom there, still from when he did the training many, many months ago.
Sure.
Shout out to Alan Clark, actually.
Absolutely.
Any recruiters watching this that need
hit him
training, go to Alan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and no doubt he'll watch this and he'll actually correct me if I get this wrong.
Go on.
I'm going to go for it. But selling is the presentation of the facts in the most appealing light.
100%.
Right? And that's what we do.
Yeah.
So we take the facts from the hiring manager, present that to a candidate, making it appealing to that candidate.
Yeah.
Without that line manager interaction, we can't get them facts.
No.
We can't present that to that candidate in that appealing light or anything.
Yeah, and I think for me, emotion is a big thing. I think human beings operate on an emotional level. And I think when I'm speaking with the manager, and I have the luxury of speaking to that manager, I really get the opportunity to delve deeper into the emotion of what he or she needs and the importance of that and maybe the struggles that they've had.
Yeah.
And it allows us to provide a much better service and ultimately find the best match possible.
Exactly, and that's what they're basically there for.
Yeah, 100%.
To make not only the best match for the client, but the best match for the candidate.
For sure.
And if we don't have everything from either side,
it's a guessing game.
We can't do our job properly, basically.
For sure.
Yeah. And then obviously, the client gets frustrated, the candidate gets frustrated. There's a lot of frustration there from all sides.
And in that whole process, you've got an empty seat, and you've got business value that's being lost.
Yeah.
And in
the industries that we're working in, let's look at drug development.
Yeah, for sure. You're saving lives.
You are, it's not being, you are saving lives.
Yeah.
You are treating illnesses or diseases.
Yeah.
The longer that chair is empty,
people aren't benefiting. Absolutely.
Exactly. The wider population aren't benefiting. So speak to your recruiter.
Yeah.
Give them everything that they're asking for.
Yeah.
Have that 30-minute call with his HR and then say, look, you can have 15 minutes with the hiring manager. Because we can cover all the basics with HR.
Yeah.
But it's them finer details with that interaction with the manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is key.
For sure.
That we can't get out. So we've got some quite good tips. Anything else that you want to sort of add as to? I think I'd guess there probably are 5 top tips there that we've got.
I think every single day in the world of businesses hiring people, there's challenges that present themselves, and we won't ever be able to deal with all of them. But I think fundamentally, it's about communication, right? I think the keys of what we've outlined is good, honest, reciprocal communication.
Whether that's internally, good, and if companies don't want to use recruiters, whether that's internally from HR speaking to the line manager and understanding that requirement, right? Whether that's HR speaking to the CFO to understand the budget,
exactly.
whatever interaction or communication that is, has to be clear.
Yeah, and I think
straight down the line.
I used to recruit in the world of project management, and I actually treat every position that I'm working as a project. And every good project manager I ever worked with told me that the success of a project lived or died by how that communication was. And businesses that aren't communicating effectively, they'll find that they'll be missing deadlines, they'll be running up costs. And actually, by having these conversations early, setting those frameworks, and actually having an honest interaction with your suppliers and with your internal teams, I think what you'll find is that ultimately things will just move a lot smoother.
Communication.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's the key word. Can we have that up? Communication.
There we go.
Thank you.
So, that's that. Next episode is going to be on candidates. So, how can candidates secure that perfect role?
Yeah.
All right. We'll release some details about the event that we've got coming up in October.
Sure.
That's going to be good for this as well. But if there are any specific questions that anybody wants answering, put in the comments, reach out to us on LinkedIn, email, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There'll be some links probably down below. Subscribe. Click the bell icon.
Yeah.
Which everyone seems to say on YouTube. So I feel
like
a YouTuber now.
That's it.
Yeah. Click the bell icon somewhere down there. And then, next week we'll be talking about candidates. How can they secure their best... how can they secure a new opportunity?
Yeah.
How can they smash an interview process?
Yeah.
What are our top tips for them?
Yeah. Absolutely. I can't wait.
Bosh!
Bosh!
Strange human beings.
The man them too inconsiderate. That's not all more considerate.
This is now being recorded as well, so you couldn't have done that any better.
Sponsored by Dave.
Mixing codeine up with the vinegar. You've got to pick what you want to get. Vinegar.
He's got our first outtake there as well.
Straight up.
Our first blooper.
Shit. It's like that. It's
How are we looking? Yeah, it's nice. Bit of dangle.
Little waterfall, bit of dangle.
He's dangling, isn't it? Look.
Oh no, it is. You could have used so many
Yeah, it's
words.
a terrible word. Isn't it?
Plantage,
Foliage.
yeah. Just plants everywhere.
My mind's
Was it? Is it
botany?
botany?
Absolutely.
What's botany, Madison?
Gardening.
Yeah.
Study plants.
Yes. Right.
Moving swiftly
Are
on.
you filming? This is being recorded, JP.
How now, brown cow?
Right.
Right.
That is what is going to get the views.
100%.
Your face.
Yes.
Don't say anything else.
Is
There
that
we go.
better?
Might be down.
Can you see JP's face okay?
Yeah, I can see Dopey's face perfectly.
Perfect.
Cool.
Let's do
Are
it.
you ready?
I'm ready.
The people at home ready?
I don't know. A bit of a recluse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not be so involved in talking or anything like that.
Yeah.
Of all the times for my phone to go off.
That's a fine. I think that's on the fine
That
list.
That's a Nando's one.
We're having one of your chips.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Do you want to say hello to the YouTube viewers?
Hello.
I'm currently filming.
The life
I'm actually
of an
currently
actor.
filming.
Brad Pitt doesn't get this.
I'll ring you after. Bye bye.
So where were we?
I'm such a
Bleep that. How was that, Mads?
Beautiful.
Come on now.